Good evening, Internet. This is me, DP Knudten, with another exciting edition of BOOKWARD BOUND. 301 days from I should really do this to done. And that done that I'm talking about is having a brand new book ready for self-publishing via Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing on January 1st, 2021. How am I going to get that done? Well, one bite at a time and one live stream at a time every day for 301 consecutive days. Now, before we go any further, I do want to check to see what episode of BOOKWARD BOUND this is, because I never check before I go live, and I always misquote the episode number by typically one. It's just really very odd. And of course, hold on a second, as I have some minor technical difficulties. Your channel, studio, videos live, and this appears to be episode serial. Are you serious? I'm just double checking to be sure. Yes, it is. This is episode 100. I've been doing this every night for 100 consecutive nights, working on my book live in front of you and the whole world via YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and Twitch. 100 consecutive live streams. I'm kind of amazed. You know, I'm not going to overly celebrate this thing, but I will take a little bit of a bow. Thank you, thank you, thank you for doing this when I kind of did this on a lark starting March 5th of 2020. And here we are on June 14th of 2020, and that's 100 days ago. Yay, this is working thanks to you and people just like you. So what am I going to do tonight? Well, some nights I write, some nights I edit, some nights I do some design work. Tonight, I think I'm going to do some writing. Yeah. And I'm going to do it over here in Scrivener, which is the application I'm using. Scrivener is a very popular program for authors of books because it really makes it very easy. And you can see right there is where you do the writing of the book, but over here are the sections or chapters of the book. And I've got them all flagged different things. Green means totally done and had a first pass edit. Excuse me. Allergies. Red means, hey, dude, you haven't written anything in there yet. And then blue means, let me get my head out of the way. Blue means that I've done a section, I've written the section, but I have not done a first pass edit on it yet, so that it earns the coveted green flag of doneness or completion. So I'm not going to go through and edit that tonight because I thought I would write about this. I think I'm going to call this episode, there's this section, there's opportunity just sitting there on the table, comma, waiting for you. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that, but first I'm going to make this 16-point type because that's what I'm using for the section headers. There's opportunity just sitting there on the table waiting. There on the table waiting. I don't know if I like that, but we're going to leave it like that for now. There's opportunity I'm going to be more confrontational. Why? Personal brand. How about that? And we'll just call this section Why Personal Brand. Yeah, there we go. All right, so this will be, get it the right font size. Where am I talking about? Branding. I need to search. Where do I talk about Tom Peters? Tom Peters, strategic authenticity. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Instead, I'm going to work why personal brand, because you're leaving opportunity on the table. Was writing various sections of this book, I found myself asking, just why I'm such a advocate for personal branding. I found myself asking why I've become such a person. Why now? Why now? I think I've figured out, and I think I've figured it out. As I was writing various sections of this book, I found myself asking why I've become such a passionate advocate for personal branding. Why now? After much internal what? Why now? After much internal conversation, I think I've figured it out. A single reason this subject is due to a realization came to a realization I came to after the Geyser bunny of into the venerable Bulgari V. Gary and I go way back, or at least he's been on my radar for years. It started, if I remember correctly, it all started with a blog post in either Wired or Fast Company magazine. Company magazines about this guy in a small liquor store who started posting videos about wine. Keep in mind, this is long before YouTube made online video. What it is today, and and back then, posting the simple act of posting video was a fraught, was a painful task. The simple act was a painful task. Posting video online was pretty darn difficult. Cool. I distinctly remember reading the article then looking up one of his videos. And being unimpressed. The video but boy, he was sure passionate about Merlot and Cabernet. Just about anything wine. Fast forward to today, and you'll see a world-renowned, highly opinionated, thought leader with a foul mouth who keeps on keeping on about the power and opportunity of social media. And he was right all the way back in. I'm going to look this up. Gary Vaynerchuk. First wine library video. Oh, there you go. Oh, gosh. Oh, man. Wine Library TV. Unbelievable.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Wine Library TV. I am Gary Vaynerchuk, Director of Operations here at Wine Library at winelibrary.com, and I am very proud to launch what we think is the first video wine blog. We've been talking about doing a blog here at Wine Library for a long time. We just realized that we had too much text out there between the website and pounding you with 4 or 5 emails a day, as I know we are. It just became something that we thought a blog would just be another layer that you maybe didn't need. Well, as you know, technology doesn't stop, and now we have video blogs, and we feel like we've got something very special here. We think we've got one of the first video blogs in the world.
Hold on.
For wine at least, and we're excited. We're going to take an in-depth look.
I'm just going to turn this up a little bit. Look how young he looks, man.
Video wine blog. We've been talking about doing a blog here at Wine Library for a long time. We just realized that we had too much text out there between the website and pounding you with 4 or 5 emails a day, as I know we are. It just became something that we thought a blog would just be another layer that you maybe didn't need. Well, as you know, technology doesn't stop, and now we have video blogs, and we feel...
Bingo. Oh. I gotta screenshot this. And this will give me an opportunity to contact Gary V and say, hey, listen, can I use a screenshot from your very first
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Wine Library TV. I am Gary...
Dang it, I don't...
Wine Library TV. I am Gary Vaynerchuk, Director of Operations here at Wine Library. Wine Library.
All right, so maybe I can do this. And then pull it into here. Yeah. So I'll have to resize this and all that stuff. But it's pretty darn cool that I can have that. See, this is one of the cool things about Scrivener. It allows you can pull stuff in, and it will have it there for when you compile the your whole book and blah 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 blah. I'm not going to worry about that today, other than to say there he is, Gary Vaynerchuk, Director of Operations of Wine Library. And then I can do a guess. Seriously, he looks like hostage, like was taken hostage by members of the Chardonnay Liberation Front. Hopefully no one will be offended by that, but someone probably will, because that's what people do. And that will be a caption that will be centered. 7th to the. He posted the first. We should call it Bordeaux. Liberation Front, because he's talking about Bordeaux. Keep in mind, this is long. Back then, the simple act of posting video online was pretty darn difficult. Just about everything wine. Since then, he has made the point over and over and over again. He has made one point over that if you think that using social media to create, grow, and communicate your personal small business or service brand is only for fast-fingered 20-year-old digital natives, you are completely wrong. You are completely wrong. And I'm not the only one who's heard him say this and heeded his call. Later in the book, you'll read about a 57-year-old plumber, late 50s, You'll read about a plumber in his late 50s named Roger Wakefield. I was lucky enough to have him as a guest on my Nonfiction Brand podcast. And he shared something that made my jaw drop. I need to listen to, so where is it? I just edited this today, or yesterday, so I know that I want to get the verbatim quote from the podcast in here. So bear with me as I transcribe some of this stuff.
And you know how they are. They're the most amazing people to deal with. And they're like, absolutely, come on camera and say, hey, you got a plumbing question, I'm here to help. What can I do?
Things like YouTube,
The best you can be, because that's what I want to teach you how to do. Because in the world today,
has lapped me about 16 times, but I'm so excited about Wakefield, W-A-K-E.
top spots on the first page of Google, meaning
Additional advertising. You know, we're going to vinyl wrap your
thinking I was going to learn how to do Facebook, social media marketing world that I was at. And
more like $50,000. And they promise you some social media, which our crack team of
first social media marketing world that I was at. And since then, I've gone to Vid Summit. I've gone to Video Marketing World. I've done a couple of others, but social media marketing world, that's where it started. And I tell people that it is literally like drinking water out of a fire hose. So I walked in there thinking I was at the very beginning of the deal. He says, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. And I say watching, it's a picture of Nathan and Michael on it. Almost fell off the treadmill.
There we go.
It blew my mind. I'm like, wait, how did he just start a business like that when there was nothing like it? A few days later, I'm on the same treadmill and Gary Vee is on there and he's up in front of a stage talking. And he says, look, I don't care if you're and I've got to get started now. And I have become a student of social media. I become a student of video. I become a student of, and I say social media, LinkedIn and YouTube. And I laughed about it a while ago. I still remember when Daryl, at the very beginning of the deal, he says, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. And I had already opened up my notebook or my iPad or something. And I looked up and I thought, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. YouTube is just the place I store my videos. That's all it is. And he's thinking it's a search engine. And I mean, I am literally thinking, okay, can I get up and walk out? Social media, LinkedIn and YouTube both. And I've got to change everything I do. And I've got to get started now. And I have become a student of social media.
I've
become a student of video. Become a student of, and I say social media, LinkedIn and YouTube both.
Let me go back that up a little bit because
I get started now. And I have become a student of social media. I become a student of video. I become a student of, And I say social media.
Yeah, I got to get that verbatim. Hold on.
Change everything I do. And I've got to get started now. And I have become a student of social media. I've become a student of video. I've become a student of, and I say social media, LinkedIn.
And I say social media.
And YouTube both. And
I mean LinkedIn and YouTube both. And YouTube both.
I've been like, look, I think I can do this. And it's funny because you mentioned, Michael.
I got to find this.
Stelzner. It all started because I heard a podcast where Nathan Chan from Founder Magazine interviewed Michael Stelzner. And I listened to that. And I was literally on the treadmill. I used to get up and walk 4 miles every morning before work. And I'm on the treadmill and I'm watching that writer. He wrote white papers. He did things like this. And he started Social Media Marketing World, Social Media Examiner, and everything he did, it blew my mind. I'm like, wait, how did he just start a business like that when there was nothing like it? A few days later, I'm on the same.
Few days later, I'm on the same treadmill.
And Gary V is on there, and he's in front of a stage talking, and he says,
Actually, I've got this already, so I can go to Headliner. This is, by the way, this is one of my favorite things for making an audiogram that goes with your podcast. What's an audiogram? Well, you shall see. Hold on. Just need to log in here. An audiogram is the visual thing that you can use to promote your podcast episode. So there you see that guy.
This week on the Nonfiction Brand podcast.
a few days later, I'm on the same treadmill.
So I've got all the keystrokes already because this is the pull quote. On there. See, this is getting multiple use for all the work I'm doing elsewhere. I can multi-purpose it and maximize the value of the work I've already done, but also share stuff that I think is really excellent stuff He says, look, I don't care if you're not, you can do this question, not period. There we go. And brother, I almost followed. So. Roger heard the exact same thing I did and had the same reaction to I don't care. That, to me, was the sound of 16 tons of opportunity hitting the table. The question what Gary was talking about was the tremendous opportunity social media gives every single person who has internet access and halfway decent computer. Literally, social media gives you the practically free opportunity to engage with the entire online the Earth's entire online audience. I don't care. All takes have the opportunity to the first time in human history you have the opportunity to tell your personal story. Everyone online for free. That's the opportunity. That's the opportunity. That's on the table. Fortunately, most of us choose to leave it there. Just leave it there untouched. Leave it there untouched. Well, guess what? Young people, many young people have picked up that opportunity and run with it. Begun to run with it in a way that puts later generations to shame. It's not their fault that some don't. It's not their fault. Some can't be bothered with this incredibly powerful new world. Are you? Question is, are you? I'm gonna have to come back and work on this section because I'm not really digging where it's at right now. But that's not unusual. You know, you start writing and you're getting ideas down on paper, and sometimes they go someplace really fast right away, first draft. Other times it's like, no, this is going to need a second draft or a third draft even. So, yeah, I'm going to have to touch this up and work on it later. But I'm at 50 minutes, almost 50 minutes on this live stream, and typically I like to do them for about half an hour. So this is going on a little long, which is not a problem. But I also don't want to burn myself out. So I'm going to say good night. Good night. I'm DP Knudten for the Nonfiction Brand podcast. A new episode comes out tomorrow, and that's the episode that features Roger Wakefield, episode 95. Yeah, episode 95 of the Nonfiction Brand podcast. You can get it wherever you get your podcasts for free. And it's a really great conversation with a really interesting guy. So I hope you'll check it out. And that's it for me tonight. So theme music, take us on out. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 101. So yay, episode 100's in the can. It's time for me to say goodnight, and I'll see you tomorrow with episode 101. Bye-bye.